state of Wayfort Roblox, and today I'm back doing another video. So I haven't done one of these videos in a while. I think the last time I did it was like about a month ago, and that was like before the update with the BWI encode and stuff. So yeah, and that was basically a wishlist video, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. So yeah, and I racked up some wishlist cars, tracks, features, stuff like that I want in this game. Or I'm just hoping we can get in this game sooner or later. So yeah, I'm going to start off now. So okay, so the first thing I want to get onto is the nerfs and stuff. So I still think there are tons of cars that are just a bit overpowered in this game. Now I don't know, you might agree with me, but I think some cars need a nerf. For example, the Vibra. And I mean, I think cars like the Vara, the Jesco, the P1 GTR, they all need a nerf in my opinion. I mean, I also think some cars need a buff, but like, let me just start off with the nerf. So yeah, I mean, there are many other cars I didn't list, but I just want to make this sure. I think those three cars I think really need a nerf because the P1 GTR is currently the best drag car in the game, and like honestly, it should be the Tesla, and like the P1 GTR would not be the Tesla in real life. So it would be appreciated if they could fix that. I mean, I'm fine with it. I really don't care personally, but I'm just saying I think that needs a nerf. The Tesla honestly needs a buff, the acceleration, or I mean, I guess we need the P1 GTR the same, but like the Tesla needs to be better. I mean, like it's just kind of like it just has to be like that. So yeah, okay, I'm not going to get on to the next concept. So yeah, that is the Vibra. Now the Vibra, in my opinion, is generally, from what I believe, at least for most of the games I've played, the Vibra is one of those cars that is just slower than the other cars. I mean, it should be better than the Holy Trinity. It's all like all the Holy Trinity cars should be better than the Vibra, but for some reason the Vibra is like one of the best first hypercars you can get, and I think that car needs a ridiculous buff in my opinion. It really needs to be buffed a lot. I mean, like, it should be more of a collector's card, in my opinion. I really, like I said though, I don't really care because it's not like I can, like, if someone had a Vibra, I can still beat them in any other race. But I'm like saying, I still think that card deserves a nerf because like it's just too overpowered. It should be more underrated in my opinion. It just, yeah. Okay, and yeah, now Jesco, the reason I think that car should get a nerf is because it's supposed to have worse acceleration than the F5, according to the stats, but then, like, it just whoops the F5 in basically every race. So, yeah, either the F5 needs a buff or the Jesco needs a nerf. So, yeah, I mean, those are just nerfs in my opinion, so I don't really care about those. But now I guess I'm going to get on to the, conversions. So, there are a few cars, there are lots of cars in this game that I think deserve to be like to have their stats converted, but these are just a few. So I kind of think, I mean, honestly, the Wildwood BC and the Virus should just switch stats completely, in my opinion, except the top speeds. And, like, I think that would be better because the Wildwood BC is just such a bad car, and become. I mean, it's not exactly that bad, but then you can make the car a lot better than it actually is, in my opinion. And I mean, yeah, that's just kind of what I'm thinking. And the F40 and the Enzo should get a switch because I think the F40 should be more of a collector's car. So like it has more value. It's only $1 million, so you can't really like flex on the F40 or collect it. It just doesn't have good vibe when it's only $1 million. No, I kind of like the Enzo shouldn't be $3 million. I think you should just switch places with the F40, and like then it could be a lot more common of a car too. I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion. You guys might disagree with that, but that's just kind of my opinion on that one. So yeah, now I guess I'm going to get on to the cars. So this is probably something that you might have all been waiting for. So let me just start off with the number one car that's, I mean, many people have suggested it, especially in the comment section. That is the Porsche 911 GT1 Strazon version. And I believe that is supposed to be retro hypercar, some sort of car back in the day that was made for the track. It competed with the Ssc GT and all. I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a pretty cool car. I think that this game should add it. It'd be probably one of the first games in Roblox to have that specific car model too. So yeah, that's something that you should add if you're listening to this. Wayfort devs. The other car is the yeah, actually I have a whole list actually. So yeah, I was also thinking they should add an F40, I mean an F50, and I'm like just thinking this game needs one. And like not many games on Roblox have an F50. Plus, it'd be even cooler if they could have a convertible version too, where you could click view and it'll become a convertible. Like that's what they need to add. Instead, it could be like $3 million. and be like the ultimate collector's card, or maybe 5 million. I don't really care. Maybe I really don't care what price it is. I'd buy it any day. But I mean, this be such a cool card to have, in my opinion, at least. So yeah. And now I'm going to get on to the next, which is the Murcielago. Now they have the Murcielago SV, but like literally, it's kind of unfair because those people who had the Robux to buy the Supercard Game Pass back in the day could only access it. I'm like thinking, why can't you just add a regular Murcielago for the other people? So people who like Murcielago or the Lamborghini Murcielago like me can get one. So yeah, I just think, I mean, really don't. I mean, I'm not really that much of a, or I don't really want it that much, but I still think it'd be a nice card to have. Now, yeah, the next card is the EB110. Now that is the Bugatti, and I just think it should be added because it can compete with the Koenigsegg CCX. It's just a cool car in my opinion. I mean, it could also be like, I mean, if V4 have the cards I just listed, it'd be really unique and something people would probably be willing to play because you get all these unique, cool cards not many other card games have. So yeah, the next car is the F1. Now the game had an F1 before, but for some reason they just removed it, and I'm kind of like, dude, why did you do that? So I think they should just re-add the F1 because I mean that car just deserves to be in this game. It's pretty fitting. I mean that's just my opinion. I mean, of course they probably don't have to include it. I'm not that much into wanting it, but I still think it'd be nice for this game. It'd be a nice addition, and I don't know why they removed it in the first place. But yeah, that's just kind of what I'm thinking. Now, it'd also be cool if they added the F1 GTR, which is basically the long tail track version of the F1. That'd just be a cool addition. Maybe it could have some good handling, some insane good acceleration, that kind of stuff. It'd be a nice card to have. Then they could add the Koenigsegg Cc Gt, which is basically a track version of the CCX, I think. And that'd just be a really nice car. Be really cool. You can add it to the track car Game Pass or something. Make it more like a really good handling car for cross country with really good stats overall. Something that can compete with the Zonda R. They could add the COK GTR, which, like I mentioned, if they're gonna add this version, don't know why they can't just add this too. It'd just be beautiful. It's one of my favorite cars in general. So I think that'd be really nice if the game could add that. And yeah, now I was also thinking they should add the F40C Competition or whatever it's called. I don't really know, but I think that would be a really cool track car as well. The Yeah, so now I guess I'm gonna get on to the modern cars. So let's just start off with the #1 car, the La Futura Noi from Bugatti Noir, and that is like some sort of expensive car. I think this game should have a most expensive car. I don't know why. Whenever I click the indicators, it turns on both of the indicators like it's a hazard light. And whenever I click X, nothing turns on. Okay, that's weird. But yeah, they should add the where was I? The Law for Torinor, which is supposed to be like $25 million, and that would just, I mean, they should just add it, the exact same specs, price, whatever. It'd be a really good card for the most expensive car, in my opinion. It'd be fitting. I know many other games have that as their most expensive car, but I mean, I don't see the harm in doing that. Or at least they could just replace the Sense of DC with that card. But I mean, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think the Sense of DC should just stay. So, I mean, well, and they should just add the Lava Torinor as the most expensive car, and it should be really expensive. So, like, only, like, the best people have it, and then you can just flex on it really hard. Okay, so the next car is the, Devo. Now, this is also a highly requested car. Many people want this car. So, I mean, Wayfort devs, please add this in. I mean, it just deserves to be added into Wayfort Roblox. The, Agera R. Now, this was something that they had a mesh up, I believe, but I don't know if they continued it. I think it got discontinued or something, or yeah, I don't know. But I think that car, it just needs to be added. I mean, it would be a great progression car. Like, I mean, something that could compete with the Bugatti Veyron, or it should be like somewhere in the $2 million range, a bit faster than the Veyron, so they compete with it. That's just my opinion. I mean, they have the Agera RS, so I mean, I'm not really that much into wanting it. But I think this would be a cool progression car, in my opinion. The Ssc Ultimate Arrow. So they already have an Ssc 2 Atara in this game. That is the fastest card in the game. And there's the Ssc Ultimate Arrow is basically it's like back in the day before the Veyron, the Ssc Ultimate Arrow was supposed to be the fastest car for a very small margin of time after it got overtaken by the Veyron. But I mean, I think that car should be added because that'd be an epic car for a Roblox game. And I'm like, I don't think any other Roblox games have that car in general. So be a really cool car, something that be around the 2 million price range. Like I said, a bit of collecting, a bit of looks, a bit of flex, a bit of top speed and performance. All of those categories put into one. That'd be a really cool addition. Now they could also add the Veneno Roadster. So they had the Veneno Roadster in the game, but for some reason I don't even know why they just replaced it and just added the regular Veneno. I kind of like, why did you do that, man? I mean, like, they're just, I just don't see why they had to do that. And I'm like, I kind of honestly missed the previous car. So, yeah, they should just add Veneno Roadster separately, or they should just give the regular Veneno a feature where you could click you and the roof, just the top part of the roof would just disappear. I don't know why they can't just do that, but yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain, but I just think that car should just be added. It's like, the Veneno is just such a boring car, in my opinion. Like, I mean, it's a nice car, but you get bored of it, and, like, it should just be something, like, if they had a convertible feature, it would be, a really, really good viable option in my opinion. Something that I just have lots of fun cruising around with the roof down and like putting it back up in the night or something. And be, I guess, a good roleplay car for those who roleplay. A good cruising car too. So yeah, that's just something I'm thinking. They could also add a brand new Focus RS. Okay, now, okay, this is a whole different category. So I'm thinking this game lacks hatchbacks. They have only a Volkswagen Golf R. That thing, I mean, I don't even think that's a Golf R. It's like just a regular Golf. Yeah, actually, it's probably a Golf R. But I mean, still, even with that, it's just such a boring car. We only have one hatchback. I'm like, why would anyone use that? Like, there's no competition to that. I'm like, I mean, why can't they add a Focus RS, a Honda Civic Type R? Any of that good stuff, you know. But I mean, like hatchbacks in general. I mean, there is so many Mini Coopers. Just, just add some more hatchbacks, please. Any developers or mods, if you're watching that. I mean, this game needs hatchbacks really bad. It needs also. I also think it should have some other cars, like for example, the Japanese sports cars. For example, the Subaru BRX SDI, the forgot the name. Yeah, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. I mean, I'm like, these cars would be really cool to have in the game. Stuff like that, just rally cars in general. Like, you know what I mean? Modern rally cars, that'd be awesome. Just Focus RS, stuff like that. I mean, yeah. Now, this category is something that probably a lot more of these viewers in YouTube generally want to see, and that is Japanese domestic market cards. So I mean, I don't know how hard it will be to add these cards in. I don't really know if the noobs in this community really like it, or just generally like. I mean, there is like a good community in this game that actually wants JDM cards. I mean, like, I will give credit to Burgers for adding a Skyline R34, but I'm like, that's all we really have. I mean, we have like a Toyota Supra with a broken mesh and NSX, and like, I really can't really remember any other Japanese domestic market cards. Like, we need an A86, a better Supra, Mitsubishi, forgot the exact name. I think it's Gallant Weeks, or I don't know. But stuff like that. Like, if they could just add some JDM cards, that'd just be a lot more cool. Something new to this game. I'm also thinking they should also add some Formula Drift cards. Because imagine, I mean, now, this thing might not be as easy to put in, but, like, imagine how cool it will be just pulling up in a Formula Drift Dodge Viper or something. I mean, I'm not saying that's probably going to be added. It probably won't be, but, I mean, that'd still be something cool. And, yeah, this is the last thing. I mean, well, I have more categories, but, like, this is the last, like, non-category cars. The B back mono and the aerial atom. So these cars are, like, I don't know how to describe them, like, go-karts, basically, and, like, it'd be just so cool if this specific game had one. Like, I mean, the aerial atom, I don't care what the price is. Like, you can make the atom $1 million and the back mono 500K, and, like, they just be gods at cross country. I mean, like, the only flaw about these cars would just be their top speed, and they'd have every other stat amazing. That'd just be really cool. And like the area atom could probably just be the back model, but with better top speed. I mean, like that would just be super cool because no Roblox game has probably had that car or any of those cars. So if Wayfort would be the first game to have these cars implemented, and that'd be awesome. So yeah, that is my general list. And now I'm just gonna go into Game Pass cars. So I first think they should add the Corvette C7. I forgot the exact model, but it's like the C7R or whatever it is. Like it's just a GT3 version of the Corvette. I don't know why they don't have that. They have the 4GT, the Ferrari 488, but they don't have the Corvette to complete it. So yeah, they're missing that. I mean, I think they should have some more GT3 cars. I kind of think the track pass should just be extended. The Zone the R should be part of that. They should just add all the track cars into this game, in general, into that pass. Or at least they should nerf the track pass and then add different passes. Like, I don't know, extreme track cars, like, for example, the Vulcan. They should add GT3 cars instead of just track cars. They should just change that to, like, 80 Robux. And then, like, people will buy it more. Like, I think other than that, I think that's just what they should do, because, like, don't see the point of the pass being so expensive. I mean, it's 125 Robux, but I think it just deserves a nerf. Some people are probably going to buy it a lot more. So, yeah, I mean, now I'm almost done. Now, I think they should add a vintage Game Pass, and that should include the Alfa Romeo P3, Bugatti Type 35, stuff like that. Like, that would just be really sick if they had vintage cars. Like, imagine just pulling up in a vintage car. Like, they should all be extremely expensive, like $10 million for the cheapest, which should be like the Alfa Romeo P3 or something. Like, and then the cars can go all the way up to like 40 million. I mean, imagine that. Like, then, I mean, that would be really cool for the most expensive car in the game. Like, instead of having something like a laboratory, actually thinking about it, imagine having a Bugatti, or just in general, a vintage racer as the most expensive car. Like, I mean, you could just take a moment to think about that. And now I'm gonna get on to the last list of cars, which is my I don't know. I just think this is going to be a cool addition. I'm not really that much into it. Stuff like the Shelby, the 60s cars, older cars in general. Like, they should just have classic cars. The 69 Shelby, I don't know exactly what model is. Like, the Shelby Cobra. Like, the really old one. I don't remember the exact model, but it's kind of like, it looks like a go-kart or something. But that'd be a cool addition. I just don't remember Nissan Fairlane DZ, stuff like that. They should have all those cars because that'd just be cool. The old Camaro, I mean, like, they have an old Mustang, they don't have an old Camaro or an old Charger, so that should be added in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, that's just generally what I could think up. Now I'm going to get on to the map. So I'm thinking this game could be really cool with an improved map. I mean, I'm not saying the map is bad, but, like, it should have an extension. Like, I mean, it would be cool if they had, like, a desert biome, like Vehicle Legends. Or, like, if they had a specific section for a racetrack. Like, they shouldn't change anything about the current map. They should probably just, like, redo it a bit. Like, add some more details, make it a bit more realistic and less boring. And then after they do that, I think they should just, add more races now. Now, to the race part. So, like I said, I think the street race should be completely changed. Like, honestly, I don't see what the point the street race is. It's basically just an extended drag race. The street race should be switched out to be like a race around the city where you drive around. Like, if you've been watching our videos, you know, our WTJC gaming circuit or whatever. That's what I call it. It's basically a city run. Just run and then do laps around the city. Now, if this game had one of those races, that'd be awesome. Like, I mean, I just wish Bogus could add that in. And I think they should have like a 1 mile long jack strip or a tunnel run, which is basically our tradition race. So, I mean, if you can just watch our videos, figure out what that is, but I don't feel like having to go into an in-depth explanation. Then, like, you know, like, from the end of the tunnel to the bridge, from the drag strip, that area. And then they could also just have a circuit race. So I think they should have more races. I think the races should give you more money. Like, the cross-country, it only gives you 20k. Like, if they could just bump it up 10k more, then people would actually have an incentive to grinding, and then, like, make second place get 20k, third place 10k. That'd be cool in my opinion. And yeah, And yeah, that is kind of my my opinions on what they should add. So either way, if you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe.